Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe, here on our YouTube channel, Trinity Temple of Sacred Wisdom. Good evening. I hope you guys are having a beautiful time out there. We're moving into the full moon energy, so there's a lot churning and a lot coming up for people. It always invokes all sorts of change, and that can be fun, exciting, scary, and annoying. So if you tap into one of those, don't worry. We can release some of it this evening through our clearing and meditation. So one of the ways I help you reconnect to your soul, if you don't already know, is by doing our grounding and our clearing meditation. We balance our energy. We call it all into the present moment. And then we check out and see what messages want to come through to help us. And tonight's card deck that I'll use to help bring in the message so you can visually have something to anchor as well as hear what's being spoken. Tonight we are using Earth Magic by Stephen Farmer. And I love this oracle deck, especially when we're around changes in the moon cycles or changes in the seasons, because it just has that rich information that's connected to that earth energy that helps hold us, that helps connect us. And it really feels like we're in this space where it's time for us to remember who's in charge. Grandmother Earth, in many cases. And for those of us who are in the snow areas, we've been seeing all that she wants to bring forth. And I know other people have been experiencing different weather as well. And we can definitely feel how active she is right now, letting us know what she wants and doesn't want. So here we are along for the ride. And then we also want to tap into the energy of this weekend on Friday and Valentine's Day, that love energy. And part of the love energy starts at home, right? It's all about loving yourself first, because when we're in this space where we are able to really love ourselves, then we can share love more easily with others. And really, the amount we love ourselves is only the amount we can share with others. So sometimes we feel like we're giving all of this love and attention to other people, but if we're not treating ourselves that way too, it doesn't always show up. So we're going to start our meditation. We're going to get ourselves nice and comfortable. You want to make sure that you have your arms and legs uncrossed. Whether you're sitting in a chair, on the floor, laying down, you might not want to stand up, and definitely not if you're driving a car. So let's just get ourselves into that relaxation mode, that's energy of just being here right now. So we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths. And with each breath, we're going to remind ourselves of our physical body, how loving it holds us, how it supports us throughout our life, throughout our day. And we're going to invite our awareness to notice our spine and how our spine is being supported right now. Is it being held by a chair? Is it being supported by the floor or a bed or a cushion? But just giving our spine some space to be held and allow it to melt into whatever surface it's connected to. And just become aware of the energy in your shoulders. Notice if there is room for your shoulders to relax even more, to drop down, so that the tension in the shoulders and the neck can gently release and break apart. releasing all that burden kind of energy that we hold there, and bringing some loving attention to our lower back and around our hips, how that whole pelvic floor holds us, even the tops of our thighs, our legs, our knees, our calves, just inviting all the muscles, even in our arms, our hands, our shoulders, to just with each breath, relax a little bit more, allow a little more tension to release. Let your belly hang out because nobody can see it in this moment. Just letting all of our body have a moment of peace and tranquility. And we're going to invite in our spiritual teams, our angels, our guides, our ancestors, star beings, our animal connections, the mystical creatures, all divine, of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us. We're going to invite them to come in to assist us, to guide us. And we're going to ask that they surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. Feeling that bubble moving around our energy field. And as that bubble is creating, just bringing any energy back into the present moment that we have stretched out into the future through worry, anxiety, just allowing that all to come here and be here with us right now. And also bringing in any energy from our past, any energy from not only this lifetime, but any other lifetime that we've experienced, bringing them all into this moment so we can ground, clear, release anything that is ready. We hold the intention, as we always do, that the healing work and the messages will be for the good of all and harm to none. And we're going to ask that the Trinity Temple of Sacred Wisdom, the crystalline energy of the sacred temple, be activated so it can hold and support all who enter, even in this online community, amplifying the energy, making it easier for us to do our own connection to our soul. And we're going to invite in Archangel Metatron to come in through our crown and just begin to activate and anchor our tree of life. And as this energy comes in, just feeling that trunk energy activate through our head, our neck. Allow it to support our spine, all of our organs. Really grounding and anchoring us right here in this moment. And as it moves down through the rest of our body, we begin experiencing the roots spreading out wide and going very deep within the earth plane. And they can go as wide and as deep as we need to feel secure and safe here on this planet in this moment. And gently reconnecting and expanding our energy in connection to the divine feminine or grandmother earth as we Awaken our Earth Star chakra. And that Earth Star chakra, held deeply within the earth, begins to just send beautiful, loving, divine feminine energy up through our roots, up through the trunk of our tree. And you may feel that as warm as honey, or maybe it feels more like thick mud. But all of that energy is coming in to recharge and refill our energy. And we begin by focusing on our root chakra, calling in that beautiful bright red, and inviting that red to get brighter and brighter, reducing any of the cloudy energy or sticky energy that we may experience here. Really anchoring the foundation of who we are, creating a steady place where we feel safe and secure in our physical body, in our homes, in our jobs, in our family of origin. And releasing any energy that is counter to that, even if just for this moment. We're being held in this sacred community, this sacred space, filled with unconditional love and divine light. And moving into our sacral chakra just below the belly button, welcoming in that juicy orange color. And inviting in all of that creation energy, all of that emotional energy to be replenished and brought into balance. And just seeing and feeling, how bright can you allow your orange to become? And moving into the solar plexus chakra, connecting to our personal sun and that bright yellow mixed with gold and white, breaking apart any clouds or any energy that is dimming your light. Whether it is dimmed by others, by ourselves, by fear, by worry, by stress. Really inviting our sun to shine through, filling our self-esteem, our self-worth, dissolving the righteous anger flowing through our system in this moment. Dissolving any of our anxiety, stress, or worry. especially about the world around us. And moving up into our beautiful heart, and welcoming in the vibrant green and bright, bright pink of the layers of our heart, allowing the heart of the inner child to be filled and restored as well. Releasing any heaviness that we may be holding here, any grief or disappointment, shame or blame. Releasing all judgment energy out of our system. Self-judgment, judgment from others, judgment to others. Really transmuting that energy back into love and light as it is meant to be. Love without conditions. And weaving this beautiful cocoon of light around the inner child, filled with healing, love, acceptance, respect. And then bringing our attention and our awareness up into our throat chakra and all the various shades of blue that we may experience here. Making room for our unique and authentic voice to break through. Sharing our creative imagination. Sharing our wishes and our dreams. Sharing our honesty and integrity. Vibrating that out to others. So that is what we hear. That is what we receive. Releasing all of the lying energy and the secrets, the miscommunications. And reestablishing that heart communication, that our heart can speak its truth. It can share its wisdom. And bringing our awareness and our focus up to our third eye. Bringing in that higher perception, that ability to not only sense with our senses, but with our intuition. That beautiful communication with our spiritual teams. Restoring balance in our brain so that we use logic and intuition fluidly. Dissolving any doubts, any difficulties with trust. Opening our eyes and our ears to see and hear more clearly words unspoken. And gently opening our crown chakra just a little bit more, making room for even more divine light to flow to us and through us. opening those petals of our lotus, each one connected to a different frequency, a different vibration. And as the divine energy comes through us and washes over us, it cleanses away all that we are releasing in this moment, while the divine feminine energy fills, restores, and replenishes, creating this harmony of balance, releasing and filling at the same time. So we feel restored and replenished. And also moving out through our auric layers, supporting our physical being, our emotional being, our mental being, our spiritual being, and even moving out through our karmic layers and our past lives. Reaching out and connecting to the ascended masters who guide and influence us as well. And just reconnecting with the wholeness of who we are, all aspects of our soul, our higher self, our oversoul, and inviting in any words of wisdom, any flashes of visions from our spiritual teams, whether in this moment or in our dream state or through music, patterns, songs, even conversations with others. And taking a moment of gratitude for all of the community has come together to gather here, whether this evening or on any future evening they feel called. And sending healing out to any who have asked for healing, requested healing, inviting that energy to go across the entire planet to any in need, sending loving support, kindness, hope, and now gently bringing our attention and our awareness back into the present moment, the room and the space that we're in, the beautiful body that we occupy. Just starting to notice how your fingers and your toes, your feet, your arms, your legs, your shoulders, your neck, how those all feel. Maybe you're seeing or sensing the light in the room that you're in, smelling some food cooking or some incense burning. And just really begin to start to stretch and yawn, whatever you need, and bring your attention and your focus back into this moment. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice connection with your soul and had some time to get some beautiful wisdom. And it definitely spread nice and far across the planet. So it's beautiful. So thank you for being here. If you would like a card drawn for you, all you have to do is type in yes, please, and I'll pull one for you. And tonight's deck is Earth Magic by Stephen Farmer. I love using this deck, as I said earlier, during the moon changes or the season changes, because it has that wonderful connection to Grandmother Earth. And she's been speaking loudly, so I figure we'll tap into that and let her continue to speak to us and through us as needed. So let's see who we have on tap. Do your ancestors have any messages for me? Any karmic clearing I need to do for this lifetime? Okay. Let's see. Yep. So you got the autumnal equinox, which is all about release. So first of all, yes, there is karmic energy to release. Sometimes what happens is what we don't always understand is that we have soul lessons that we're all here to learn. We have 22 of them, and each lesson we have to do in the shadow and in the light. We have to experience both sides of the equation. We have to not only experience it, but understand it and see how one impacts the other. And we do that in each of the basic elements. So we do it in earth, we do it in water, we do it in air, and we do it in fire. And then once we've done that and mastered that, then we move on to trying to hold all four elements at the same time as we go through the lessons. So needless to say, we've been in soul school for a little bit. So karma is not always our debt. Sometimes karma is ancestral. Sometimes we are here to help clear the ancestral lineage. And so that's one of the things that I really connect to with you, Bernadette, is that you're not only doing your work, but you're doing work for generations of people who came before you and to impact generations of people after you. And so when we're in that space where that's our work and that's what we're doing, we are constantly evolving and growing. So we may do a deeper layer on the same topic, or we may do a deeper layer on the ancestral clearing. You know, if there are any illnesses, for example, that run through the genealogy, like heart conditions, or if people have certain types of cancer or diabetes, when those things run through a family, that illness needs to be cleaned and cleared back to when it was created, when it was manifest. And so that's not always ours, but it can be one that we stepped into, that we had in our soul contract when we came here. So what I'm getting for your messenger, your ancestors and your messengers, is that you've been doing a lot of the work. You're still doing it. And the karmic clearing is one thing people don't understand too, is that karma is not always bad. You know, sometimes we haven't lived the positive side of a particular lesson yet. And so we're here to experience that because we've done it in the shadow, in the negative energy, or we've done it in the masculine energy and not the feminine energy. So it's the balancing of each of the experiences. So this is one of those times where you're learning about really trying to balance all of those things. You've been here a number of times. That's very, very clear. That's why you took on this big assignment, you know, for clearing generations. And even when you do yours, sometimes we're here to help others clear theirs too. And I'm sure that some of that comes through in your podcast, because you can't unleash the potential, if there's energy holding back, right? So we want to clear all of that out of the way and clear it out of the way for everybody, because we can personally do karmic clearing for humanity. And if you look outside, you know that stuff isn't clear yet. So yes, you are on the right path. Your ancestors are inviting you. Also, I'm seeing, don't be afraid to go out in nature and let nature do some of the clearing for you. And you know, don't be afraid to up your game. um, because anytime we feel done, that's our ego saying, it's tired and it doesn't want to play anymore. There's always something else to do. Ah, yes. Yep. It definitely can be that. And I know for a fact, that one of my jobs was to help clear the mental health stuff. Um, you don't have to know. You don't know have to know what you're doing. Um, um, all you have to do is know more than the person who's listening. You still can be a teacher in that moment. We don't have to be an expert on anything. We just have to have the words of wisdom that want to come through. So, um, you know, many times with our parents, we do opposites, where one of us will do shadow and one of us will do light. And mental health, you see how much it's on the rise these days. The mental layer of our aura is the third layer in the aura. So at some point, that those mental thoughts and patterns and beliefs they anchor down into the physical body, and so we can't help but have a mental health experience. It's why I think everyone should have a mental health practitioner that they work with. I also think everybody should have a spiritual healer that they work with, who tackles all the layers, so that we're having that holistic experience. So I hope that answers things for you, Bernadette. I'm so happy you were here with us. And keep doing what you're doing, because you're bringing inspiration to a lot of people through your podcast. Ah, nice to have you, Kevin. All right, what do we got here for you? This is the whale card, and this is breach. And I can't help but laugh because, I see breach and I think of, the baby turned sideways. But that's not what this is. um, the whale energy, think about how big whales are, right? And they swim and they come up for water, right? But when they breach the surface, they have this moment where they're flying through the air. And as they release the water and they come out of the water and then they go back into it, they have that moment where this larger than life mammal is in the air flying. And so what that's telling us is, you know, tap into your inner whale. We've had to do some swimming in deep waters, but then you get all this momentum to break through the water, feel the sun on you before you dive in again. And so this is a time where it's time for you to break through and experience that sense of like, yes, I'm in the right place in the right time, and it's magical. And we have this moment where we're in it, and the more we learn how to do that, the more we can experience more times when we're in that energetic flight. And no, I'm not talking about, any kind of substances to help you fly. These are all spiritual. And it's inviting you to break through and let yourself kind of go. It's almost like a cosmic trust fall. Except you get to jump and soar first and be flying in the air. And you're gonna land in the water. So worst thing that happens is you get a little wet. So get out there, build your momentum, and it's time to breach the surface. Come out from hiding. Hmm, there you go. Love that, Kevin. Like that video by Yes. Exactly. All right, my emoji queen. Good evening, Deanna. All right, you have the spring equinox. So on the opposite end. So the spring equinox is about rebirth. And so as part of that, we are, closing in. I may not feel like it at the moment, but we are closing in on the spring equinox. It's closer than not. And that is a time when we become our new selves. We really have that opportunity to grow a different life. We have the opportunity to have our ideas become fertile and to be in that space where whatever we dream, whatever we imagine, we can create. We just have to believe we can create it. And so in this spring equinox energy, as it's coming to you, I feel like it's like slowly descending right now. Like I see like this slowly descending, and then it's like boom, all this stuff is going to bloom at once. So be ready by the end of March, for a number of ideas and things to come to fruition. And it has this beautiful, lovely quality to it. And it's all about wisdom, transformation, belief, and creativity. And I just keep seeing the owl, the wisdom of the owl and the transformation of the butterfly. So it's like you may not even know what that's going to look like. And I know that sounds, kind of strange maybe because it's only a couple weeks, few weeks off, but you may not even have an idea, but the wisdom's already there. The knowledge is like, the owl is sitting on your shoulder, ready to tell you everything you need to know. And the transformation, well, and the owl's right over my shoulder, right over here. And the transformation is already in progress. So the chrysalis is already there. The butterfly is about to burst through. So it's another energy of bursting through as we enter into the spring. And that fertility of the rich soil of all the deep work you've done, it's made this wonderful place for new things to grow from. And that's the other thing about doing our personal work is when we do our work and the work of our ancestors, we get all this richness that we bring back into the earth plane. We bring it back for all of humanity, not even just ourselves. We bring this possibility for a rich and more fulfilling life. And when we're brave enough to plant those seeds and watch them grow, you know, yeah, that's magic. So keep up the good work, and I can't wait to see what that looks like for you. Absolutely. Everybody needs to talk about mental health. I believe that so deeply. It's not a stigma. It is very much something we all encounter. And if we got more normal about it, people wouldn't have that sense of having to hide it or shy away from it. They could just be able to say, hey, I have stuff going on and I need some help moving through it. So, yep. And I totally appreciate that. So you are very welcome. Thank you for bringing that out in our broadcast tonight. Hi, Jackie. Oh my goodness. Good to see you. So yours is the new moon card. And this is all about promise. And not promise from the energy of like making a promise, but promise from, oh, the full moon is calling, the fever's hide, and the wicked wind whispers and moans. Yes, absolutely, Rob. In the new moon, the promise is that it's like that whisper of dreams you've had. So there's this sense of, something that you've been longing for, something that you've been wishing for. And, you know, in the new moon energy, it's like it's just starting to peek out. It's just starting to be seen. And by the time you energetically reach the full moon, not the full moon of this full moon per se, but the full moon of the dream, which feels about 6 to 8 weeks or so. That when you reach that place of the moon being full, it's like it's no longer going to be this dream. It's in the new moon. It's that energy of you asking and the divine making a promise to you. I promise by the time the moon is full for this dream, you will experience it. And it's relatively close. So hold on to that and know that if you haven't spoken your dream in a while, speak it or write it and reaffirm that it is what you want. It is what you are longing to experience, and it's possible. You can feel it like just on the edge of where you are. And just allow that love energy to flow through it and to it and magnetize it to you so that you experience it even sooner than you can imagine. Love that, Jackie. Get to work. That's beautiful. Thank you for being here. Ellen, you made it. Nice job. So tonight, your card is Fog. And it has the subtitle of Veiled. And the fog is, fog happens when the air and the earth, the temperatures aren't the same, right? And so then this fog gets created. But as they start to match, the fog lifts and it clears. And so right now there are things that are happening beneath the surface. You can't quite see what they are, but you can sense that they're there. And it's time to, what I'm seeing is like, it's just time to sit back. I'm seeing the Smoky Mountains for some reason. So I'm seeing like sitting at Smoky Mountains and seeing that fog and having like a cup of coffee on the porch and just watching the fog as it dissipates. And then seeing the beautiful landscape from that perspective. And that's exactly what's happening right now in your life. It's like you're sitting back and it's just time to let that fog dissipate. Let things really melt away that you can't quite see, so that you're going to see the spectacular view once they do. And remember that if you're in a place of angst about, well, I don't know what's happening or I don't know what's coming, then the fog will stay thick and muddy. But if you just trust that, oh, it's just foggy, if I wait a little bit, it'll clear, then it will clear even faster and sooner. And we all have these moments where not everything's clear. We're not supposed to see every single detail perfectly, because we would still doubt it and we still would maybe not take action. But whatever is wanting to come out is right underneath the fog. Um, and it's spectacular if you let it come in. And yeah, just sit back and relax and love the process. That's the hard part. Loving the waiting. Awesome, Ellen. Thanks for coming. You're very welcome, Jackie. Thank you. Stacy. You guys are all using the purple hearts. Those are like, purple's one of my favorite colors. Thank you. Oh, this is so you. So this is the fairies card, and it's all about earth magic to my beautiful sacred gardener. So what I'm getting for you is, the fairies are coming, the fairies are coming. And, it's so hard when we're here and we have, over a foot of snow and more coming, to imagine that the spring flowers are coming or that the fairies are coming, but they are. And the fairies are reminding you of all this earth magic that you hold, and you know that you hold that, and you know that your connection to the fairies is strong, and that the plants tell you things, you sense the trees and all that nature has to offer. And so the fairies are inviting you to bring that earth magic out, maybe in a deeper way. Maybe it's time to show others how to do what you do. Maybe it's time to offer your services to other people. Being able to go on their land or see their gardens, or see what their house wants, or see what their land wants, and help them become in harmony with the world around them, because you have that gift, and you could do that even more than you realize. So think about that, and know that the fairies, they kind of want a representative to help their energy and their magic reactivate in bigger ways on the planet. Because when we feel that playful magic and we experience that connection to the earth, we remember that we're all related. We're related to all of humanity. We're related to all of the four-leggeds and the two-leggeds, and we're related to the winged ones and the mysticals. We're all connected. And so letting them come out, letting the fairies come out and be seen and remembered and welcomed, just by creating the beautiful gardens they love to play in, which also brings in the birds and the hummingbirds and the butterflies and the pollinators. Like, all of that gets supported. So yeah, the fairies are inviting you to either, I think it's both, teach about that, but also do that. Think about it as a business opportunity, maybe. Sounds good. Thank you, dear. Oh, thank you, Deanna. Blessings to you too. Okay. A card about your Cancer person, Joseph. Okay. All right. So the card that I drew is the Dreamtime card, which is the creation card. So sometimes we're able to connect with people on a soul level through our dream time. We can ask questions before we go to bed and say, what the heck was going on here? And invite a soul to soul conversation where we can get information or answers better than if we just tried to reach out and talk to them. um, but what I'm sensing is that, cancer is a difficult illness for anyone. And what happens with cancer is it is anger that we haven't expressed. It's repressed emotional energy that solidifies in the body. And depending on where the cancer is located, or if it's located in multiple places, gives you the flavor of the repressed energy that's being held. And not everybody is in a place where they're ready to hear that. It's like we're talking a different language because they don't want to hear it. I have worked with cancer patients doing my healing work for a number of years, and some people are, they can be stage 4, but they can see and visualize and know they're meant to be healthy, and that's exactly what happens. And then I have other people who are just in this place where they can't get out of their own way, and they oh, his sign is Cancer. Oh, that's better. But I guess we're on this energy anyways, because spirit's coming through. So when people, hold on to old energy, they're stuck in their past, when they are unwilling to look at their part in a relationship, all of those things collect energy and store energy. Yeah. And so the thing is, we have our, when we're caught in our past, we are not good at accessing our emotional energy. And so you might have reached out and said, "Hey, I miss you." And that may have been more than he was ready to hear, more than he was ready to deal with. And that doesn't mean that you won't reconnect. It just means in this moment, he's not ready to receive that type of energy. And the cancerous energy can be depression. It can be low self-esteem. It can be feeling unworthy or feeling angry at the world around us. When we're caught in those cycles, we can't hear or feel or experience real love. When somebody's offering us, love and compassion and kindness, we just can't hear it, feel it, or receive it. And that's why, addictive behaviors happen, for instance. And so what I'm sensing for you is that just hold space. And, if he's meant to come around, reach out to him in dream time and ask, hey, I'm here and I would, love to be in a place where we're more connected than we are right now. And, the other thing is that a lot of people feel pressure when we get close to Valentine's Day that they have to perform a certain way and act a certain way, and they avoid it. So that could also have a piece of it. But I have a sense that he has some sort of emotional tug of war going on right now, and that's all he can focus on. And to do your best not to take it personally, because it has everything to do with him and pretty much nothing to do with you. You're the one who's feeling this, his inner turmoil, but that's all his. So keep that sweetheart open and loving, and release any expectations on him, because when we are willing to release them, if we're meant to have that connection, boom, it reestablishes and they reestablish it. And that's in a much happier, healthier place for us when we're not in that needy energy of, wanting them, missing them, needing them. It's like, okay, you're on your own journey, and hopefully we're going to circle back really soon. So stick with it, my dear. You are resilient, and yeah, give yourself some love this Valentine's Day. Maybe even get together with some friends, and share the love, share the laughter, because you deserve it. Have a great week, sweetie. Oh, you are very welcome, Stacy. It felt very important. Yes, we can do one for Rose and her baby. Feeling like there's two. Let's see what Rose has got. Perfect for her. Love and compassion. Sending her lots of love and compassion for all that she's going through. All of mine had to be, well, one of them started on their own, but they had to be induced as well. So that could be very difficult. But I like to think of it as a jump start. Gets the body going. So sending her lots of love and compassion. I'm feeling the angels surrounding her with that, and that, that, yeah, I'm just feeling this whole, like a whole room of support, just holding her as she does that. And for the baby, the card for the baby is the stone people with his vigilance. So there's going to be a lot of watchful energy as this baby is coming in. But the beautiful part of that is that when the stone people are connected to someone, it means somebody coming in who's really grounded, somebody who is really in the energy of, they're very solid and secure and very matter of fact. And so what a wonderful thing for that energy. And it's so funny because I keep feeling boy and girl. I know there's only one, but it must be a child who's really balanced in both as well. So while they may be experiencing, yep, vigilance tonight, their tree is grounding, their life force energy is grounding, they're coming into this world, and they're seeing this world as a sanctuary. So we will be welcoming in a really lovely child relatively quickly, because the inducement does not necessarily take long. Once the body realizes what it needs to do, it just gets to work. So don't worry, I will send Rose extra healing tonight, specific for that. And I did already give her oils to help support her during her labor and after the birth. So she is well taken care of. And I love, Kevin, that you are sending that energy out for her and the baby this evening, because she's a very important part of our community. Thank you. Yep, he is. I think he's really taking care of that inner turmoil so that there's space for you guys to be there. You're welcome, sweetie. Full moon baby, I know. They're magical. Absolutely magical. And I had nothing to do with that. Or maybe everything to do with that. We'll see. Andrew, nice to have you. So your card is ceremony. And this is an invocation. So I'm seeing a personal ceremony. And so generally what that looks like is doing a ritual for ourselves. I mean, the full moon is the perfect time for it. I usually do every full moon. And for me, my ritual during the full moon is first of all to take one piece of paper and I write down everything that I'm ready to shed in my life. And I just write it all down. And then I fold that piece of paper up. And then I get a second piece of paper and I write down what I want to replace that. Because when we release something, we want something better to come in. We don't want to magnetize more of the same. So, what can you imagine going in that place? And so, writing all of that down. And when I'm done with my papers and I've got them folded, I will burn them with incense or sage, sometimes some dried roses. And I ask that the divine take away the ashes and release everything to the heavens so that it can all come to fruition. Sometimes it helps to use salt or water. I've even shredded the papers in my shredder when I haven't been able to light a candle or something. But it feels like you need to do a personal ceremony of some sort. And as I said, the full moon is absolutely perfect for that. So invite that in, even if it's releasing my old way of life and welcoming in my new one. It can be as beautiful and as easy as that. Thanks for joining us. Mary, nice to have you. So your card, my dear, is music and harmony. So what I'm sensing for you tonight is that to really bring your energy into balance, to really balance out some of the negativity that's swirling around, it's time to bring in some music. Play some music that makes you happy, that brings back wonderful memories, anything that's got you tapping your toes or singing along, because music has vibration and it impacts our entire energy field. And when we allow that energy to feel in harmony, in sync, and happy and joyful, it really restores balance in all layers of our mental thoughts and our emotional body. And yes, we can use music to release the tears if we've been having trouble crying something out, or we can also use music to, release the anger if we've been holding on to that. But if you're releasing sadness or you're releasing anger, you want to then switch to happy music. You don't want to just leave it in that negative vibration. You want to fill with the positive. And if you don't really know, I mean, most of the time you can put on like Pandora or Spotify and just say happy music, and there's a playlist there. But my backup is children's music, because some of that stuff is very fun to sing along with, and we remember it from childhood and we have happy memories attached to it. Or we have some music that we listened to when we were younger. I can be a Jackson 5 girl sometimes. And there are many more, but that's the one that popped in. I'm always an Earth, Wind, and Fire person too. So John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Yeah. Well, yeah, that can happen. But yeah, I think just tapping into that Beatles music sometimes too. There's some happy music. Yes, there's some sad music too, but some of that can really be uplifting. So tap into that and bring some harmony back into your life by um, inviting in more of that music to play. It'll help shift the vibration more quickly. We all needed that. Thank you, Mary. You are very, very welcome, Kevin. Thank you. All right. Am I on your card yet, Rob?
I'm doing my best not to cuss the mouse.
Haven't spoken with fire in a while. So what I got, yes, a card regarding this situation. What I pulled is the shaman card. So in the ancient healing wisdom of the shamanic tradition, one of the things I'm sensing is I have a great one, an elder that I connect to, and well, I have more than one, but the ancient one is coming through, and what I'm hearing is that that old wisdom of, remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. And so when we are encouraging someone else to speak and to break the silence, we have to go into a deeper place of silence, right? So this is a time to use that shamanic connection to sort of reach down into your internal place of fortitude where you have the strength to not communicate. And that is such a tough one to learn, because having to hold space for somebody else as they get to a point of readiness. Because again, whenever we try to rush conversation before somebody is ready, misunderstandings happen. And with the energy that's on the planet right now, there's a lot of miscommunication that's happening. But the full moon is a beautiful time for asking for the silence to be broken. And so what I'm seeing is the ancient shaman, and he's holding a twig, and visualize the twig as holding the silence. It's been holding and holding the silence. And during the full moon, which is, depending on where you are, sort of tonight, tomorrow, you break the stick. And if you have the ability to burn the stick, great, burn it, because then you're dissolving the silence and breaking it. But know that just breaking it is energetically sending that message through that the silence be broken. And have that inner wisdom to allow that to unfold how it's meant to. And when we aren't worried about it or anxious or stressed about it, then it resolves very rapidly. The more we worry, the more we push it away. So, yeah, really tap into that shaman, that medicine man, that medicine feeling, and really know that the silence will be broken as soon as you are willing to not worry about it being, not worrying about the silence. That's the phrasing. Don't worry about the silence, and then the silence will no longer be there. Phew. There you go, sir. Ah, yes, I Feel Happy by Pharrell Williams. Yes. Because I'm happy. Yes, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're on my top. You're very welcome. Perfect. Sounds very good. I'm glad you're on it. Perfect. All right, Rob, let's end out this night. Perfect. Perfect card for us at the end. You have the Dawn card of new beginnings. So that light is breaking through, the new energy is coming forth. Like, what are you willing to bring in that's brand new? What are you willing to shift and change to step into this new horizon? And what I'm seeing for you is like many possibilities on the horizon. I see um, opportunities, I see jobs, I hear music, and I see happiness. And so, can you imagine letting all of those things come in? Um, Remember, when magic happens, be cautious of the words you use. Lots of times we're like, can you believe it? And so that puts doubt in it. And so then it pushes other things away. So remember to say thank you. Yes, please. More, please. And we can be astonished and amazed. Um, but we have that innate ability to create all of these things for ourselves. And the divine just wants to send it to us. So all we have to do is say, yes, please, just like we do with the cards. Um, you say, yes, please. And guess what? The cards show up, right? The information and the messages show up from your spiritual team, from your guides, and from the divine. And all we have to do is gather together and say, yes, please, maybe a little bit more often than we have in the past. So, with that, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I'm so happy to be your host here on Soul Connections. Make sure that if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel, our Facebook page, and all of that so that we can stay in touch and spread the word, because we definitely need some loving, healing energy and understanding and kindness to spread out worldwide. And it all starts right here with us. So thank you guys. Bye for now.